Hello and welcome to the Aviz podcast series. I'm your host, Ilona Gabinsky, and today we have a very special guest, Fagan, the VP of Sales at EPS Global. Alan, it's great to have you here today, and welcome to the show.
It's great to join you.
Thank you. So today we will be talking about open source network operating system, which is called SONiC, and its transformative impact on enterprise networking. So, Alan, can you just give our audience a quick introduction what SONiC really is and why should enterprises consider adopting it, and also what benefits does it bring to the enterprises?
Absolutely, yeah. So SONiC is actually an acronym, right, for software for open networking in the cloud, and it's a freely available open source network operating system, or NOS, and it's designed for data centers. It's a community-driven project, and it was originally designed by Microsoft and then released to the public in 2016. And essentially what it is a software layer that sits on top of network hardware, and it provides the control plane for managing network devices. So some of the benefits of SONiC. So given that it's open source, it means that it's a community-driven project, right? And it allows for a lot of flexibility and the ability to customize and for rapid innovation. And that's in contrast to what you would see from a traditional networking vendor like a Cisco or a Juniper. If you implement a network from those guys, you have to follow along their development cycle. Your ability to innovate and to make changes is very, very limited. You don't have that with SONiC. Another advantage is that it's hardware agnostic. Right, so it can run on a bunch of different hardware platforms. With that, then you get away from vendor lock-in. Okay, again, if we look at a Cisco or a Juniper, if you implement a network from them, you got to buy their hardware and buy their software. With SONiC, you can choose from multiple different manufacturers, and what that gives you is an ability to shop around. Right, we're all familiar with shopping around for the best price, so you can find the switch that best meets your needs, that has the best price, and also supply chain flexibility, that if one hardware manufacturer doesn't have the switch, another one might have it. And we really saw the benefits of that during the supply chain crunch caused by COVID. You know, we had situations where customers of ours implementing traditional networks, suddenly the lead time jumped 18 months or 2 years. We engaged with them. We were able to install networks for them within a few months. So having that flexibility was really key for them. And the last one then is scalability. Right, so SONiC it's designed for large scale data center networks, and so it can support thousands of switches and routers. So it can handle any size of enterprise data center. SONiC is well able to handle it.
This is awesome. Thank you, Alan. So what we see with our customers is that usually usability support and overall experience are the blockers for enterprises to adopt SONiC. And our vision has always been to solve this problem for our customers. And we are partnering with you to help them overcome those challenges. So can you talk a little bit how does EPS Global assist enterprises in overcoming challenges during the SONiC adoption process?
Yeah, so here at EPS, we've been active in open networking for over a decade now. It actually predates SONiC. There were other network operating system vendors out there active back then, and we've been working with them and putting hardware and software together. So we have a technical staff, and our technical staff will engage with the customer very early and understand the problem that they're trying to solve. And then we will recommend the right combination of software and hardware and support for the customer. And in many cases, we build that into a solution then. And, so we have the software, the hardware, and the support all together in one package for the customer. We direct relationships with best in breed manufacturers like EdgeCore and best in breed support organizations like Aviz that allow us to put these together and allow us to bring these to market.
This is awesome. Thank you, Alan. So we recently announced the One Box solution. Can you explain this solution and its significance for simplifying SONiC deployments in enterprises?
Sure. So One Box, it's a solution that really brings together EPS Global, EdgeCore, and Aviz networks. And it's really to simplify the deployment of SONiC in enterprises. Sometimes, what I've found over the years is that the open networking landscape, it can be challenging for customers to navigate, okay? The ability to choose from a large list of switches, optics and cables, it sounds great, but in practical terms, it can be daunting for the customer to try and figure all this out. You get where do I start? I have this big pot list. We help them with that. We simplify it by having a single SKU, okay, that consists of the switch, which has the latest version of SONiC software loaded on it, and it includes then support from Aviz. So one part number for the customer to order, everything they require is with that part number. And the support piece is really, really key to this. In all the years that we've been active in open networking, when we sit down to talk to customers and try to persuade them to try open networking, the common question is, what do I do for support? What do I do when something goes wrong? And you have to have a good answer for that, or else you're not going to get any further. So having the answer to say, well, here's the number that you call Aviz. Whether it's a software or a hardware problem, they're going to fix it for you. Here's the number. That's a great answer to give them.
I cannot agree more. So, Alan, what advice would you give to enterprises in general that are on the fence about adopting SONiC?
So I would say talk to a partner, preferably EPS Global, and give it a try. And I think, you'll be pleasantly surprised at how well it works for you. And you'll be even more pleasantly surprised at the cost savings you make and by the simplicity. And I talked a little bit about this. There was another podcast I was on recently, and, I was giving some advice to people. If you're running an enterprise network and you're not looking at SONiC, you better be looking over your shoulder, okay? Because the benefits of open networking are so great that you ignore them at your peril. And I've seen it in large enterprises already, where if there's a reluctance for the networking group to look at open networking, or that they don't have the expertise in-house, organizations are looking outside and they're getting people with open networking experience, and they're hiring them to implement open networking and implement SONiC in the enterprise. So my advice is start looking at it, start understanding what's out there, engage with a partner. And if you want to get started, because sometimes that's the question, where do I start? How do I start with this? Start with one box, right? Make it really easy. It's a single SKU that has everything that you need, and you can give it a try.
Thank you, Alan, for sharing such insightful information about SONiC and the one-box solution. And thanks to everyone for tuning in. If you are considering SONiC for your enterprises, or just want to learn more about innovative networking solutions, visit EPS Global or avisnetworks.com websites. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more discussions like this. I'm Ilona Gabinsky, and you've been listening to the Aviz podcast series. Stay connected and see you in the next episode.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Alan.